Okay, all right. Well, welcome back to another video here on the first day as a real estate agent video training series. I'm going to talk about in this video, want to talk about, and I've talked about this many different times. I talk about it in one of the other videos in this series, Be Successful from Day One. I talk about this in my podcast. I talk about this. Where else do I talk about it? In my book. So basically, I've talked about this issue many, many times, but it is very important. Choosing the right office, choosing the right company to work for in your first year. This is the biggest decision that you make. And it's going to affect you the most in your first year. If you choose the right office to work for, you are going to be able to be successful. But if you choose the wrong office, it can end your career before it even starts. So I'm going to go through some quick slides here and make good notes, but really take this to heart when you're out there evaluating companies. And one of my last points here is you have a choice, and I want you to remember that. So as you can see from these slides, it's so important that I've bolded every point, and I haven't done that on any of the slides so far. But the biggest reason why new real estate agents fail is because of poor training and mentoring. It's the biggest issue. I've been out recently doing some training for new agents at my company, Remax Alliance, and I'm just amazed by the level of, I don't want to say, I'm just surprised that the new agents don't know as much as I guess I expect them to know. And it's not ignorance, it's not that they don't understand. I think they just haven't been able to get good information going through their real estate school, getting their license. So these videos that I'm doing, these are really going to help you, and keep these videos as a library because once you start working, you're really busy in the beginning when you're starting at your company, but then 6 months, 9 months into it, I want you to be able to come back to these videos as a resource to help you. So, what are the most common mistakes that the new agents make when they're looking at a new office, a new company, a company to work for? The biggest thing is they get too focused on the splits. They get too focused on how much money am I going to make. It's just money, money, money in your first year. Now, a lot of you are not that experienced in sales. A lot of you don't have any real estate experience. So you really need to understand and learn the business from the inside out. So focusing on the splits and how much money you're going to make is not the most important criteria. That is something that will come down the road. Once you do well, you're going to earn money, but don't be focused on the money in your first year. The other mistake that a lot of new agents make is they choose the first company that interviews them. And I made this mistake, and I mentioned this before. The first company that interviewed me here in Louisville, Colorado, I was like, great, they want me. Okay, I'm going to start. Now, it's worked out okay, but maybe if I had looked at some other options, maybe if I looked at some real estate companies in Boulder, it might have been a better option for me because I would have been able to work two markets more effectively rather than living and working in the same market. And this is the third mistake, and this is the one I fell into. You work at an office close to where you live. I thought it was a great idea. Well, maybe it might not be a good idea. And for me, it wasn't. I think I would have been better off if I had started working in Boulder, which is just basically 20 minutes from my house. It's not like I have to do an hour commute. But if I had worked in that area in Boulder, I could have been exposed to two markets, one market where I work and one market where I live, and I could have had a good story both ways. Now, the type of offices that I think you should avoid when you're out there talking to companies and you're evaluating your options, and I'll just go through these really quickly. I mean, obviously, you don't want to join a company that has no training, no mentoring for new agents. I mean, that is the biggest red flag right there. Number two, a managing broker who is not active in the business. You don't want to work for a managing broker who works from their house and works part time. You want an active managing broker who's in there every day, who is a resource to you when you need help. You don't want to work for in a small office with only a handful of agents. You just don't get a lot of synergy. You can't hold open houses for other agents in your office if there's only two other agents in the office. You don't want to be in an office where the agents are not doing many transactions. Maybe there's 20 agents and a lot of them are just working part-time and working with family and they're not doing any business. You want to be in a thriving office where the agents are doing business, and don't look at the other agents as your competition. It's a huge ocean. There's a lot of fish in the sea. There's many deals that can go around. Look at the agents in your office as resources, as people that can help you. You can host open houses for their listings. You can maybe get referrals from them if they're busy. So you want to be in an office where the agents are busy and doing deals. You don't want to work for a company where the office doesn't have a website or no digital presence. And if the floor time is really slow and not a lot going on, no call ins, no walk ins, then I think that's something to consider. I mean, if there's a lot of other overriding factors, this is not the biggest deal breaker, but it does help you when you can work floor in your first couple years and get some leads, get some practice, and get some deals. Now, this is the last one I have here is the selling style of the broker and the office is not a fit for you. So, for example, if you're not the type of agent who likes to go knocking on doors, if you're the type of agent who doesn't like doing cold calls on the phone, and you end up working for an office and that's 80% of how they generate leads, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to enjoy it. You're going to get frustrated, you're going to get irritated, and then you're going to stop going to the office, and then that's it. Your career is going to be over. So make sure that you feel comfortable with the selling style of the managing broker and the office. And if they do a lot of cold calling and knocking on doors, and if you're willing to give it a try, then give it a try. But don't quit because you say afterwards, well, I don't like their style. Okay, so what do you need in an office? Well, here are the big factors, and this is a result of, my experience talking to a lot of people on the podcast, doing a lot of research. The biggest thing is you want to work for a company that has a good reputation and a strong local brand. Really big, because we're not going to have a lot of credibility right up front. People are going to think of you based on the previous career that you had. So if you work for a company where they have a good reputation and a strong local brand, a local presence, that is going to help you. The negative is that if you work for a company that has a crappy reputation, doesn't have a presence, that it just doesn't add anything to you as a new agent. Second thing here, national brand. Well, that's ideal. If the company that you're going to work for does have a good national brand, a good national impression, that'll help. But it's not as critical as having a good local reputation and local presence. Number three here, and I've already kind of talked about it, the office, the company, it needs to have a formal, a written, a detailed training and mentoring program for new agents. Now, it's best if you do have a formalized training program rather than just working side by side with a mentor. This mentor model can work, but a lot of times it's not that effective either because you get matched up with a realtor who's been in the business 20, 25 years. And when they started in the business, it was before the internet, it was before, social media, it was before, all the things that are going on in the market today. And a lot of these realtors that are experienced, been in the business 15, 20 years plus, they don't have as much experience with the internet, with building your brand, and with kind of building a business in the environment that we're in today. That's why I think if you're looking at a company, it's best to make sure that they do have a formal, a written, a schedule, a real training program for new agents and a mentoring program too. And a mentoring program could just be your managing broker being available to you when you need help your first year. Now, I kind of touched on the managing broker. You want to make sure that the managing broker in the business is active, goes to the office, ideally, 5 days a week, and is available to you if you need help. And you're going to need help. I mean, I've joked about this. I've been in the business since 2003. I still need help on certain deals. I still need consultation with my managing broker on things that happen. And a lot of times I just need a sounding board because, something catastrophic might have happened in one of my deals and I'm really bummed out and irritated. And I can go talk to my managing broker and I can make sure that I'm not getting too emotional and I can kind of rationally think through what is the next best step. And my managing broker, Eric Edwards, I mean, he's always there. If he's not there, what Eric always does, he designates another agent in the office to be his backup. So that way, if he's not there, there's somebody else in the office who has the ability to help, to mentor, to give advice. So there's always a managing broker in effect available for us as agents. And you need that too, especially when you're new. Now, this is kind of subjective, but I think you really should try to get a feel for the office. You want to work in an office where there is some energy and there's kind of things going on. There's a buzz and people are, did you get that contract? What happened with that counter offer? And here's my new contract, or I just had a closing today. You want to kind of have good energy and a buzz in conjunction with having some camaraderie and some teamwork where you're all kind of pushing each other, helping each other, cheering each other on, having get togethers, having lunches. And, we do like a bocce ball tournament every year. And in fact, we need to do one. I need to talk to my office manager. So we always do a bocce ball tournament where we go play. We have our holiday party. We do different things. So try to find out the company that you're evaluating, you're interviewing, what type of events, what type of activities do they do kind of outside the day-to-day work, and what kind of camaraderie is there. And then with the other agents and then the support staff, are they friendly? Are they helpful? Are they knowledgeable? You want to be able to make sure that the office administrators are going to be there, they're going to help you. And like what we do in my office, they handle a lot of our paperwork and they monitor all the pieces of the contract that we need, from the offer to the disclosures to the inspection to the appraisal, any amendments, and they have like a checklist. So that is the type of office where you want to work in, where the support staff is there to help you. Now, the last point I have here, and this is just kind of a basic, but just make sure that the office, the company that you work for, has a good website and they kind of understand what's going on today in the world of social media, and they have some kind of presence. Can you get an agent page on that website? That is something that would be very helpful. We have that in my company where we have a big website, Remax Alliance. I have my own page just for me, my contact info. I have like a bio, different things. And I know some agents, and that's all they do. They just have that as their page. Is floor time busy? Can you get some, not necessarily can you get business? I mean, that would be really good, but are there going to be any decent leads that at least you're going to be able to work? Because your first year, what's really important for you to learn your skills is to get practice. And the best way to get practice is through floor time, working walk ins, people that call in, and then that way it'll help you get better. And then ideally, can you get some business from that? And then I kind of mentioned this before, but do the other agents allow you to host open houses? And this is something you can ask the managing broker in the interview. How does the office look physically? Is it a good office? Is it presentable? Does it look nice? And does it have easy access for your clients to come visit you? Good parking. Where is it geographically? Does it have a good printer? Do they have a good printer, a scanner, a Wi-Fi? The geographic location. Can you increase your average sales price? This is the mistake that I had made, and I wish I had started in an office in Boulder rather than work in Louisville, because over the years, the average sales price in Boulder has been much higher than Louisville. Is the company kind of moving to the future? Are they progressive? Do you see them as a company where they understand what is happening in the market today and they're moving to the future? And then ask your friends and family their opinion of the company that you're looking at, you're potentially going to choose. They could give you some good stories. They can give you some feedback to let you know whether or not it's something to avoid, and run away, or maybe it's something that you can embrace and just be a part of. Big thing is you have a choice. Don't forget this. You can choose who you want to work for. Don't let anybody bully you, intimidate you. Don't let any of these companies say, well, you can work for us and we're really the only company that's going to hire you. Take it or leave it. You have options. Do your research, take time. You're in no rush. When you're going through your real estate school, you're studying for your real estate exam, you can look at what your options are. Talk to other agents in your market that you want to go work in and just get a feel for what is going to be a good fit for you. And then this is a good option too, is go to a training class that company offers. And that could be a good way for you to kind of get your feet wet and get a sense of their kind of culture, how they work. Do they really care about the agents? Are they going to help you be better? So when you start, the ideal scenario is to choose the right office where you can be there for a long time, because longevity, stability, that promotes professionalism, gives you credibility. So ideally, if you can choose a company where you can be there 5, 10, 15 years, that's the ideal scenario. Now, if you're working for a company right now and you're not happy, look at what I'm talking about here in this video if you want to make a change. The sooner you can make a change, the better, because if you're working in a bad environment and your attitude is poor and you're not doing well and you're not going to succeed, then change companies and get to an environment like what I'm talking about here in the video. Big thing is though, don't keep changing though. If you do need to change, just try to change once in your career, two at the most, because it just doesn't look well to your sphere. Oh, Mario, he changed companies again. Where is he? He used to be a Remax and now he's a Coldwell Banker and, now he's at, Bob's Real Estate and, now he's all on his own. And, man, I can't keep track of that guy. You don't want that kind of reputation, okay? Try to stay with the company, build longevity, Build a good track record because that is going to show well to your sphere and to your prospective customers. Last point here is go to the office every day. When you're new, don't work from home. That is a huge mistake. You have to go into the office. Yes, it is a job. This is not a hobby. I don't want you to be that type of realtor who's kind of working part time in the beginning, working from home. Now, if you're going to work part time and you're going to transition and you're working two jobs, I can understand that. But if this is going to be a full time occupation and you get a good deal because you work from home, don't do that. That is going to hurt you in the long run. Go to work every day. You get a lot of synergy. There's a lot of energy in the office. You're going to learn from the other agents. You're going to learn from your managing broker. You need to be at the office every day. I mean, there's no way around this. And this is going to help you. Some of you might be really, really good. You might be very talented, and maybe you can work from home. But I'm telling you, you have to go to work. It's going to help you in the beginning. I know my first few years, I was there every day. I mean, nowadays, I've been in the business since 2003. I work from home a lot, but I've been in the business a long time and I know what I'm doing. When you're new, you don't. There's so much that you need to learn about the business. And the best way to do it is to be at the office and you can kind of learn by osmosis and just hear what other people are talking about. Okay, well, that's it for this video. If you have any questions about any of this, don't hesitate to email me. Let me know. I also have a Facebook group. I talked about it in one of the earlier videos, but I have a Facebook group just for people that are a part of this course and people that are kind of in my inner circle, people that I trust. So let me know and I can get you as a part of that group. Okay, well, thanks. We'll talk soon. Bye bye.